My dear ones, there is indeed a love holding us. There's a love holding all that we love. I believe that, and I felt that during this General Assembly. This was my 11th General Assembly, and it really felt markedly different to all the other GAs I've attended. Over the past years, we as an association have been going through huge growing pains, moving from an organization steeped in historically dominant culture hierarchy to widening our circle. Widening our circle to not only include all, but to empower and give voice to all. And the transformation has been difficult and uncomfortable at times as we learn new ways of being together, new ways of listening to and centering historically marginalized voices, new ways of doing the business of our association in a more compassionate, less formal way. Now, for a while, it felt like the pendulum had swung from one extreme to the other, and yet this year, after not meeting in person since 2019 and all that we've been through over the last 3 years, it seemed like the pendulum was beginning to settle in a more deeply inhabited and balanced and caring new normal. And it gives me hope. It gives me hope because it seems like Unitarian Universalism is often at the cutting edge of societal change. We're pushing the envelope in the microcosm of our Unitarian Universalist faith, and eventually, slowly but surely, society follows. Unitarian Universalism was having conversations and showing leadership and activism around abolition, around women's rights, civil rights, LGBTQ equality, as well as accessibility long before they became mainstream in the rest of society. So I see our determined work to create a multicultural, anti-racist, equitable, beloved community as a powerful harbinger of things to come in our country. There is hope. A faith founded on love as our primary value from which all emanates. A love that holds us. A love that holds all that we love. And that is what I noticed at General Assembly this year. I experienced an ethic of care and concern holding us. An ethic of love that Bell Hooks talked about in our call to worship earlier today. Gone were the endless hours of arguing over word choices and bylaw changes. These had been dealt with earlier in online mini-assemblies. And gone were the hours of debating and handing out pamphlets to corral your point of view. Conversations that, though important in their own way, prevented us from dealing with the more life-saving work and mission that we need to focus on at this time as Unitarian Universalists. When our house is burning, we don't have the luxury of time to decide which silverware we want to salvage or what clothes we want to wear. We need to focus on getting our loved ones and the things that truly matter out. Am I right? And as so much of our institutional and national house is burning, is on fire, that's what we did this year at our General Assembly. We focused on what matters most in Unitarian Universalism at this time. We had consequential conversations and discussions about the future of our faith, about who we are, what we stand for, and how we can live into our ideals. We are becoming the change so needed in our society at large. We are becoming that change, and it's a challenging journey. But we're beginning to see what it looks and feels like to be more inclusive, more loving and kind, to truly live into being a beloved community, to be love in action, as you see on the back of our Chalice t-shirts. And if you haven't got one yet, I invite you to buy one in our coffee hour. Love in action, as Annie is showing there. There we go, love in action. Of course, it wasn't a perfect experience for everyone, as it always goes. Yet I felt proud and excited for our future as a denomination, and Randall Edwards is now going to share more with you.
Good morning. My name is Randall. My pronouns are she and hers. I'm an older, white, cisgender woman with almost shoulder length, light brown, starting to gray hair, wearing a yellow shirt and glasses. Did that sound odd? I confess, as presenters at the UUA General Assembly 2 weeks ago, Meet the Moment, reimagining radical faith community, started to present themselves in that manner, it jarred me, at least at first. As I got past the initial, that sounds odd or different, I realized what was going on. The UUA was putting into practice new learnings about accessibility justice. I started being less jarred and more curious. I wondered, what must it be like to be a visually impaired UU attending GA and to be now included in this way? Just about a year ago, I took my daughter Madison to visit my mother in Massachusetts. My mother had been in failing health for some time, and my daughter was on her way to a years-long graduate program in Scotland. And my daughter Madison and my mother share a great talent and love of art. And amazingly, my mother rallied at this second to last visit. And she and my daughter spent hours. Something's wrong with the mic. She and my mother spent hours sketching and drawing together.
Use the handheld.
Is it still on? Okay. Sorry. On one of my mother's dialysis days, Madison and I drove to Salem. We went to an excellent museum on the witch trials era, and on our way walking to find the art museum, we spied a church in the distance with a Black Lives Matter banner out front. I bet that's a UU church, Madison said. And sure enough, as we got closer, indeed we saw that it was First Church of Salem, a Unitarian Universalist church. I felt moved that 3,500 miles away from where I live and attend church, I could see an easily recognizable, like-hearted house of worship in this not unlike witch trial conspiracy theory of a world we find ourselves in now. I was moved again 2 weeks ago, virtually attending the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly. During the daily GA sessions, the Article 2 Study Commission presented each day talking about exactly what was going on with this bylaws rewriting process. I admit the first time I heard about the Article 2 Study Commission, I thought, what's that? And is that something I should care about? When I heard that part of the bylaws rewriting process involved rewriting or reimagining our 7 UU principles, I thought, wait, what? What are you talking about? I love those principles. So at GA, I attended the Article 2 Study Commission office hours meeting, and I asked them, what's this about the principles? We love our principles. We don't want them to go away. And they said, well, what if what you love doesn't go away, but evolves to something more, like more action? As one presenter said, it's not that our principles are broken, our world is broken. It's broken in new ways and also in built-in ways that a lot of us are only waking up now to understanding. And it's not so much that we need to fix the principles, but we need to understand the actions that our shared values call us to. And we need to commit to more than just affirming and promoting our values. So I invite you to suspend with me your disbelief, as we say in the theater, or maybe in this case, suspend initial resistance, and let's listen. Let's consider, let's open ourselves. Let's maybe reimagine.
So for 35 years now, since 1987, the 7 principles have beautifully articulated UU ideals. And for those of you who are new, who are here with us, you can find them on our website, you can find them all kinds of places, probably in leaflets right outside here. They serve as a covenant for our faith and a way to ground our own ethics and inspire us. But our UUA bylaws also require a review of these principles every 15 years, because it's important to remember that our principles are not a creed, and that as a living faith, we pride ourselves on continuing revelation and evolution with the times. And though there have been minor tweaks in our principles over the years, in 2020, the UUA board appointed an Article 2 study commission. And Article 2 of our bylaws deal with our principles, our purposes, our statement of inclusion, and our freedom of belief clauses. So here's what the board charged the commission to do: to review and propose any revisions that will enable our Unitarian Universalist Association, our member congregations, and our covenanted communities to be a relevant and powerful force for spiritual and moral growth, healing, and justice. The new principles and purposes should guide us in the transformation of ourselves, our communities, and our faith into active networks of collective care, restoration, and justice. They should ask us to choose love in action as a path forward. Our commitment to anti-racism, anti-oppression, and multiculturalism is love in action and should be centered, they say, in any revision of Article 2. And finally, the principles and purposes should lead us into the second quarter of the 21st century while honoring the historical roots of our liberal progressive faith. We therefore charge this commission to root its work in love as a principal guide. So the board has asked for an Article 2 that is inspirational, memorable, and poetic. And the language should be inclusive and welcoming and explicitly anti-racist, as our General Assembly voted on last year. And you can read their full charge on the UUA website, but this gives you a sense of what kind of transformation is being called for here. So at General Assembly this year, we heard several presentations from the study commission. And they're having extensive conversations with congregations and individuals about our faith and what it means to people. And from those, they came up with 4 broad categories that need to be addressed. The first is the purpose of the Unitarian Universalist Association, then our shared values as Unitarian Universalists, then our covenant and our inspirations. And you can now express your thoughts to them about the work they are doing directly as well. And then in January 2023, they're going to present draft language of the revised principles to the UUA board. And then before June 2023, there will be mini assemblies online to propose amendments and craft the words, and then recommendations will go to next year's General Assembly for a first vote in June 2023. And if the majority vote yes, then the process continues. If the majority vote no, then the process ends there and we continue as we are. But if the vote is yes, then the final vote will be held at General Assembly in June 2024, a year later. So can you see, my friends, how important it is for you to be involved and get involved in this process now? If you want a voice about what's happening in the future of our faith, the Article 2 team has extended the deadline for feedback on the work that they've presented at General Assembly through July 18th. So you have 1 more week. If you wish to learn more and watch their sessions from General Assembly and comment, Please go to the links provided in last Friday's news and notes, or on our website, under recent news. It's right there on the front page. You can click on the link, and it's in our chat for those of you online, or you can contact our administrator for more information. Go ahead, they have a Padlet where you can write down your thoughts and responses to all the work they're doing. They want to hear your voice. It's really important. And we're also going to be holding monthly conversations at Chalice over the next few months for you to explore more deeply Unitarian Universalism's core mission, purpose, and values, as well as exploring what on earth is beloved community and what it means to you. So I invite you to join us for these conversations, which begin after church in 2 weeks' time, both in person and virtually on July 24th. So it'll be in July and then in August and September.
But we do want to take a moment right now to check in with you. As values form the foundation of our faith, and our covenants are based on our values, we ask you now, what do you personally value that is aligned with your Unitarian Universalist faith? Ask yourself, what do I value most? What are my key values that may also be UU values? And take a moment to click on this word cloud link if you're online and type in your values. Or if you're here in person, you may call out some of your values, and we'll repeat them so Ani and Reverend Nica can add them to the word cloud.
Yes, please raise your hand if you'd like to share a value out loud, and then we can put it into the word cloud. Yes. Love. Justice. Respect and integrity. Kindness. Are you able to keep up, Ani? Yep. Carol. Community. Jill. Passion? Compassion. Barbara. You were going to say compassion. Grenda. Inclusion. Matt. Empathy. So as we enter these words, the words that are spoken most often get the largest. And so if any of you want to double up on any of the words, feel free to call them out and we'll put them in again. And people online are entering. Yes, Mary? Generosity. Caring and concern. Arlene? Courage. So for those of you who are new here with us, you can see these are what we value. Go ahead. Sustainability. Helpfulness. Free and responsible. Community. Friends.
Look at it grow.
I know, it's wonderful. Humor, yes, Thelma, we do. Thank you, humor. So right now, love, kindness, equity are the largest in there. Adaptability, someone wrote, sustainability, generosity, integrity, faith. Randall, can you read out any others? Compassion, fairness, hope. Yes, hope.
Hope.
Absolutely, hope's important.
I see faith.
Yes, belonging.
Belonging.
Justice, yes. And that's already third, I think. Justice, sorry? Music. We do love our music, don't we, Anthony? And everyone. Sorry? Action, absolutely. Action. Interdependence. That's a great word. Thank you. Learning, yes. And with that probably comes growth, too. Courageous. Reflection. Openness. Appreciation. Yes, Anne. Passion. Absolutely. Gratitude. Well, my friends,
We
look
could
at
go
that.
on and
we
on.
could go on forever, but right now we should probably see. You want to share, Randall?
We wanted to show you the slide that was shared at the GA from the Article 2 Study Commission's research among UUs. And interesting for us to compare the overlap, if we have that slide.
There are our online friends. Hi, everyone. There we go.
Love,
Compassion,
justice,
dignity, worth, freedom, respect.
a lot
Yes.
of overlap. So for now, the Commission has uncovered the following shared UU values: interdependence, pluralism, diversity, justice, equity, evolution, and love. They explained these values further and how we might live them out, and then gave us a chance to offer feedback. And as Reverend Nica said, you too can offer feedback on the Padlet. Share if you think any core UU values are missing. Again, links for this are in the chat, on our website, and in news and notes.
So next, the Commission invited us to think about what might be possible when we're bold enough to give life to our values by backing them up with action and promises that they inspire us to. So they had us all pick a shared UU value and think about what that value calls us to do. You can take my face off, thank you. It's unnerving to be speaking and seeing myself there at the same time. So it's a way to begin talking about how we live, how we stay in relationship, and how we shape our aspirations in the world based on our values. So they suggested that we frame it like this: because we value ... we covenant too. So we're going to do that exercise together in one of our Sunday conversations in August. So if you're interested in delving more deeply into that, we hope that you'll join us for that. But meanwhile, we wanted to give you a few examples. So one of the values they held up there was interdependence, that I think you mentioned earlier, Tim. So here's some language around interdependence. Because we value interdependence, we covenant to work to understand our place in the web of existence. We know a sustainable environment is essential to all life. We will deepen and grow our connections with UUs around the globe, called into responsibility to heal the human community and support sustainable environments.
Here's another one. Because we value evolution, we covenant to accept our responsibility to change and grow spiritually, personally, ethically, and as an institution. We evolve, knowing that once changed, we can never be unchanged. Yet we remain open to new wisdom from different sources. Evolution is never complete. Evolution is never perfect.
And here's another one that many of you mentioned. Because we value justice, we covenant to create environments where people thrive. We will work to dismantle systems of racism, oppression, and white supremacy culture in our congregations and in ourselves. In working to bring justice, we work to bring peace to ourselves, our community, and our world. So the Article 2 Study Commission ended by inviting us, as we grapple with this revision process, to continue to ask ourselves, in what ways will this new language challenge our consciences? In what ways will it draw us more deeply into community? An Article 2 that does both of those things will truly make us free, they said.
I said I was moved at GA. I was moved to think that I was part of a living faith tradition that listens to her people, listens to the lived experiences, that holds itself accountable to past shortcomings, and evolves and changes with new learnings. I was moved by this process to invite, engage, and involve all of us UUs in reviewing our bylaws, our principles, sources, and more. I was moved that the whole purpose of this review is to ensure that our principles serve us in truly meeting the moment of our time, in building radical faith, beloved community, and living into our calling as UUs to act in the world on the side of love.
Can you see how important this work is, my friends? And I invite you to share your voice, speak what's on your heart as a Unitarian Universalist, or if you're new to Unitarian Universalism, share as well. It's really important for us to hear your voices as well. So please do get involved in this work and follow up with it. May it be so.